This is K.O.P.A,
The roar, the pride,
brothers in boots.
we stood side by side. We built the league, we built a name. We played for love, not fortune or fame.
This is K.O.P.A.
Our hearts are song, the spirit leaves, it's never gone.
Yes, welcome to another episode of This is Goba. I'm still Mike Pieri is here. I'm thinking with the amount of images we've been sent since we started this pod, we can change the intro again, can't we, Mike?
Maybe we should. Leave the music. I love the music.
You
I
sure?
love the music.
You
Do you know what? I walk down the school corridor and I'm whistling it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Hey, the maestro has spoken. Mike, we have a special guest. We have a Goba legend again. We bring the legends back, mate. This is what we do.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Del. Yes. Hello. Good evening, everyone. My pleasure to welcome Nick Shakallis to the pod today. I know that every single episode we've had, Nick, your name has come up as one of the best players, one of the big names. Nick is going to talk us through his career. Nick is part of the great dominant AL team of the 80s, and he later went on to play for Cosmos as well down in South London. Without further ado, welcome, Nick. Thanks for coming on. How are you, sir?
Thank you.
All right, lads. All right. Good evening, both of you, and to all that may watch this in latter times.
Excellent. Nick, let's get cracking then. How did you first get involved with Goba? Who was your first team? Which club was it, and what made it special?
Well, the way off. First and foremost, I didn't realise until I was approached by a hairdresser called Demetrius, and he had a hairdresser's down in Mornington Crescent in Camden. Okay, ladies' hairdresser salon, and my mum used to go there, obviously, and have her hair done, and I got into Goba or the Greek football through meeting him, and it was coincidental that I met him because I went in there one Saturday to see my mum, and he obviously knew my mum was Greek, and we started talking, and he asked me if I played football. I said, at that time, I said, yes, I'm playing. He asked me where. I said, I'm playing. And at that time, it was a Rothmans Isthmian League. I was playing for a team called Wembley Town. And that was a Saturday league. And he asked me if I was interested in playing Sundays, because at that time I was only playing on a Saturday. And I said, Sundays, what league and stuff like that. And then he sort of then started talking about the Greek league, Goba. And it was weird because I stopped him and I said, hold on, I said, there's a Greek league. He said, yeah, it's just starting. This was in 1975, just after the troubles in Cyprus. And he sort of went into it and started to explain to me what it was all about. And every sort of question he asked me, I was a little bit taken back because, first of all, he said, there's a Greek league starting. So I said to him, what, a Greek league with Greek teams and Greek players? And he said, yeah. And I said, is there that many Greeks in London? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, how many teams? He said, it's a league full of great teams. So I said, yeah, okay. I didn't say yes straight away. I was a little bit hesitant. I said, oh, no, I'll leave it, Following week, he started chasing me then. And he was involved with IEC, Buspada, okay? I suppose that name's come up a few times. But after 2 or 3 times, I said, okay, let's give it a go. He made it sound really nice. And to be honest with you, I lived in Somers Town in like down by King's Cross, Euston. And honestly, hand on heart, I didn't have no idea that there was so many Greek Cypriots in London, right? I really didn't, because I grew up in that environment where I didn't mix, not the fact that I didn't mix with Greeks, but there weren't a lot of Greeks where I lived. And all the kids that I grew up with were prominently English, right? And I played for St Mary's Youth Club right through until I stopped, and then Basbadar, the Greek league sort of came into play. So I was a little bit taken back, and I started playing, signed up for AEK, Basbadar, and he was a character on his own, that fella, I tell you. He loved this team with a passion. He was vocal, and he just did everything for the lads. There was a couple of, two black boys playing, Delroy and I forget the other guy's name up front, and then the rest were, for Greek lads. There was only, at that time there was like just 2 non-Greeks could play, and our home ground was at Market Road on the Astro. So I did a year there, and then in the second season, Andy Felahui came into play. He asked me if I wanted to join Olympiakos. So I joined. I left Basbadar. But the thing with, the nice thing was what I found with Basbadar and most of the Greek clubs, which didn't seem that English clubs didn't have, was the closeness and the family orientation of it all. The Greek Cypriots are renowned anyway for their generosity and their hospitality and their friendly, friendship, and they embrace you, you know what I mean? Even if you're not part of a direct family, they still do that. And I've got a lot of English friends that, have met. A lot of my friends in, London with the football, and they're all of, they say that all the time, but that's common knowledge, I think. But anyway, after the Sunday football, Basbadar would invite us all back to, he had a little kebab house in Tolleton Park, I think it was, or somewhere around Archway, and we just all used to go there, have a beer and a kebab and he had a pool table, and, it was just nice to go there, and it was so different to the English environment, let's say, or any other environment that I've been involved in really with football. And that was nice, it sort of, it embraces you a little bit, you know what I mean? And that's how I got into the Greek football, or Goba, yeah.
So with Olympiakos, was that your first league title in '81? Was that the first time?
I think do you know what? It most probably was. I can't remember winning anything with AEK. We came close, but we didn't. I mean, I was only there a year and a half, maybe a couple of years tops. And then, but when I moved to Olympiakos, Andy started building the side up, and I think we won a cup first. We beat KLM at Haringey Borough, believe it or not, which is now, the Greek stronghold.
Yeah.
But we did win. I can't remember when we won it. When was it?
I think it's 81. I'm just looking at my notes. I think it's 81. Was that the team with Gary Roberts?
Yeah, Gary Roberts, Andy McGonigal. Yeah, I saw Gary the other day, funny enough, because getting off it a little bit, we've got a Wembley group as well that is massive, and we meet up 2 or 3 times a year, and Gary and Andy and Barry, a lot of the players that played within the Greek League actually came from Wembley and surrounding sort of semi-pro sides, which I've still got a tie with, But anyway, that's another matter. So,
but it's great if we ever do a live event, you can bring them over.
I mean, they do. To be honest with you, Mike, we do meet at Haringey Borough. We met only about a month ago, I think. We have 2 or 3 meets or 4 meets at Haringey. We go and watch a game, Tom's team with Cumberbatch, and we're in a WhatsApp group, and it gets put out. So you get Greek fellas that played in Goba, and you get the English fellas, like Bobby Goldsmith, Barry Henley, Andy McGonigal, various others like that. You know, Sean Abbott, you know, played for Salamina, and he played for us as well later on. But you know, and other players that played for other teams, and we all meet and we have a beer after, and some of us go and have something to eat. You know, up in North London, like so. It's still, it's you know, it's tight. It's kept it tight for years. You know, and we still keep in touch. And the group's not just IL and Olympiacos or the teams that we all had connections with. It's other boys come into it, like Zesto, the Anorthosis lads, and you know, Mario played for Anorthosis. Like, you know, I say just bring people in, like, you know. And a couple of years ago, there was a massive group there in the summer. We met up, and there must have been like, God, like 50, 60, 70 people, all, you know, Cypriots that played in the Goba League, and that when not part of IL or Olympiacos, they played for Salamina, they played for Anorthosis, they played for, you know, Ammonia, you know, and even Penny was there, you know, like the centre back. And it's just great to see these guys, even if it's like once a year but the Goba League has done that. You know, where else would you find that non-league football? You know,
That's amazing.
It is amazing, honestly.
I'm sure Stel will come to that later, but I want to move on to IL because that IL team that you played for, I think to this day are the only team that won 4 league titles in a row. I mean, they're one of
5. I think
was it 5 in a row? I think it was 4.
I know we won 7, 8 titles, but the year we didn't win it, right, was we won the 2 cups. And I think we lost it on either goal difference or by a point. I think it was 7 years, you know, that we went. But there was 7 years, but there was 1 year we didn't win it.
Yeah.
I think Salamina won it.
Tell us about that team. Tell us how, because whenever we talk to anyone about Goba and we talk about the great teams and the great clubs and the great players, we can't fail to mention AL. Tell us about what it was about the AL team, the players, the management, the atmosphere, the football. Tell us why they were so great, why they were so dominant.
Right. It took Andy. Well, Andy left Olympiacos and he took a nucleus of four players, maybe, to IL. And he said to me, I'm going to move to IL with Chris Giorgio, and I want you to come with me, he said, to IL, but they got relegated. They was in the 2nd division, okay? That's when the divisions were flush with teams as well, like, you know. And I sort of thought about it. He said, look, Shax, he went, I'm taking a few of the lads. I'm going to get some more players. We'll get promoted, and I'm sure we'll crack on and make a good side out of it. So I went down with him to the 2nd division. I think we went unbeaten that year. We won that division. We came up, and I don't know where Andy Felahui, right, got the players from, and he was great. He was a great guy, and I don't know how he persuaded people, you know, to like sort of, and he obviously used players like, well, I've got Shakallis there, I've got Greg Zachary there, I've got Andy McGonigal, like, you know, and Barry Henley. And you drop a few names and players like, oh yeah, you know, it sounds like it's promising. So he built this team. However he did it, he built a team. And I don't know where it was from day one, okay, when, you know, I'm not sure that when we got promoted that year we won the league. I'm not sure, okay, because I don't follow the stats. But I know that from the first time that we won that league, the team was it was a phenomenal side, honestly. I'll tell you something, Mike. Most probably, like most of the great teams in that division, all them players could have walked into a good Saturday side without any problem. But what it was as well, everyone got on, but apart from that, Chris Giorgio played his part as well, right? And I know that the Greek teams used we'll go on holiday at the end of the season, right? As a sort of, it wasn't a lever, it was a bit of a carrot, to get you to stay. Are you with me? And they'd promise you a holiday. And IL weren't the only ones that done it, because Olympiacos done it as well. Fair play to them. To all the teams that did that, hats off, great. And Chris Giorgio did that, and he did lots of other things for the team and for the players. He'd invite them round to his house and barbecues and all that. And he just wanted to keep that tight-knit closeness amongst the boys that he had. He didn't, what can I say? The calibre of players that IL had, any fella who what he was good at was going out there, getting players, bringing them to the club. And I was a skipper, but apart from me, we had lots of other players there that most probably could do the job that I did. And we didn't really need a coach. We didn't need a manager. We just all went out there and knew exactly. We all played for each other. I won't say we all loved each other, but we was like that. We played for each other. We'd run through brick walls for each other. And it was just there, and you play for IL and nothing else mattered, right? That was it. If there was something to be dealt with, if a player was being roughed over, then we all got involved. It wasn't like, well, you deal with it. He's roughing you up. He was roughing one of your players up, one of your family. That was it. Okay, you all looked after each other. You took care of each other, and that was the end. And we just went on from strength to strength, really, winning titles, winning cups. We won 2 London Cups, I think. I'm not sure. We got to loads of semis. But a lot of Greek teams done that, Mike. As the league grew strong, a lot of teams were doing that as well. And I'll tell you what, Goba, the Cypriot Football League, when you spoke about it out of the Greek domain, right, the Greek circle, like English leagues and clubs, they've heard of it, they knew what it was about. They all knew, that there was a Greek league there, and, they were there and they were up the top and they were winning trophies. You just couldn't hide it. But,
Brilliant.
That was that with IL. It was just, we went on holiday. And the thing is, well, Mike, when the club this is how tight IL were. When the club took the players on holiday to Cyprus or wherever, we went to the Greek islands and we played a few games and, like you do, the invitations were open to the players' families and friends. My father-in-law and mother-in-law came to the IL holidays with us, more than once. That came on 4 or 5 occasions. I've got friends that I still know now, English people, right, that came on holiday with us. Not just, 6, 8, 10 people, English people, nothing to do with IL, nothing to do with the football, but they were welcomed. And I remember going to, I think it was Spetses, and we did a week there and a week in Poros. There was 40 of us, and all the other players, like Tony Martin brought his partner and kids, and I brought my kids, and Chris Carley, and that's how it went. Everyone was part of the family. If you was an IL player, or you was, if you was anything to do with IL or family or anyone, if you brought you into the fray, that's how they treated you. Why would you want to leave anything like that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Before I pass over to Stel, while you're talking, just looking at my stats. So in that team, AL won in 87, 88, 89, 90. So it was 4 in a row. In 90, you won the LFA Challenge Cup. I'll come back to that in a moment. It was Omonia, Jimmy Cattle's Omonia that broke that sequence of 7. And they were a great team as well. So you are absolutely right, that era. But I want to go back to that Challenge Cup, because that 1990 LFA Challenge Cup brought so much prestige to the Goba League, almost cementing what you're saying, and what you're saying with passion, with authority, that the Goba League was such a big, powerful, well-respected league. Do you remember much about that LFA Challenge Cup?
Of course of course I do. Even teams playing in that LFA Cup, right? Not just us. The year prior, they were beating good sides like Continentals, right? Playing in a Walthamstow League. They were an all-black team. Okay, phenomenal side. They got beat by a Greek team like during, sort of the rounds. There was 279, which we beat, I think, in the semi-final to get to the final. They were a South London outfit, and they were another phenomenal side. They had all these teams, right, have semi-pro players, and there were good teams, good strong teams. Battersea Celtic, Libra, these teams are big, and we know them outside of our domain, and the Greek teams are starting to beat these teams and get to semi-finals and get to finals. Are you with me? And maybe was we the first Greek side to win it?
I think you were. I think we were.
Yeah.
My recollection, yeah.
Yeah, and we won it, and we beat. I think it was Sanergy 1-0 at Kingsbury football ground, and I remember that day. Tony Martin he was ill. He couldn't play our centre half, so they had to change the team about, and I was usually playing centre mid. But I remember I ended up playing up front because the way the team had, was changed around. Anyway, we did win it. It wasn't the best game. I still remember it, but because they were very good footballing side, but we just closed them down, did the basics, and then we just hit them on the break, and I think we beat them 1-0. Yeah, we did. We beat them 1-0, and that was great. I mean, winning that was, apart from the All England Cup, that was most probably one of the best cups you could win in amateur football, sort of on a Sunday, Sunday basis, Yeah, and it was great, Yeah, and it was just great to win it, What can you say? What can you do? But you know what? IL, you said it yourself, they won cups, trophies, they're just ploughing through everything. Most teams will die off, okay? They get... but, IL, the thing they had was just like relentless. They just cracked on week in, week out. I think we broke loads of records. I don't know if we still hold a record. We beat Olympiacos 29-0. And I don't think that's ever anyone's got anywhere near close. We went unbeaten. I think we drew our last game. That's back in the day when there were a lot of teams in the league and you played like 28, 30 games a year, plus the cup games. So, sort of things like that, when you go unbeaten all year and then win the league and win the trophy, you win the 2 cups and whatever it is you win after that, it's just mad, It's just like, how can this happen? But Andy Falahui did his part as well. He didn't let the side just ferment with the core of players that he had. He was always chasing, going out, trying to add one here, trying to add one there. You know what I mean? Strengthen it. And that's how it went. And everyone chased us. And trust me, Mike and Stel, IL at that time were most probably, as you say, the phenomenal and the best team around. But there was a lot of teams very, very close to where we were. Are you with me? Like the Salaminas, your Norfolces, your Ammonias, your KLNs. They was all there, athletic, They weren't far behind, They lacked whatever it is they lacked, but we was just always just pipping them But it wasn't easy. And that's just, how it just goes to prove how strong and how good that league was at that period of time, It was, it was
brilliant.
Great.
I'll pass you over to Stel now, and I'll come back to you about your latter years later.
Oh, later, no.
Nick, during those years of dominance with IL, were there any players that got a little bit complacent? Because when you're winning titles, trophies, etc., over a certain period of time, you see other clubs, let's say the professional clubs, like, I don't know, Man United, for example, like Mike will attest this, the 2 or 3 players might leave, 2 or 3 players might come in. Was it the same group of players every season, or were there wholesale changes from time to time?
There were changes, I think you have to have changes. Everyone in IL, they weren't all 10 out of 10, right? We're all, some are good at this, some are good at that. It's all juggling. And Andy did bring in players. He wouldn't bring in a glut of players. He'd bring in one, maybe two. And unfortunately, if they were better than the ones that he brought in to replace, they'd leave. At the end of the day, still, everyone wants to play football. I know everyone wants to play, no matter what level of football you're playing, you always want to play for the best team, okay, if you think you're good enough. But unfortunately, he's the manager, he picks the team. And it wasn't always a great decision. But going back to your first question of, did we get complacent? No, we did not get complacent. We went out there with the same mindset week in, week out, no matter what or who was out there. Whether it was a new player that came to the club, he got accepted, he got put in, and I was a skipper, and I expected that player to, one, put in the effort, hard work that we all did first, okay? Secondly, let him do his thing. But most prominently, he had to come in and work. He's no good. I've always said it to people that I speak to. For any club, any team, at any level, whether it's amateur, professional, you do not become champions, right, if you're lazy, if you're complacent. You can have a really good side, technically top of their game. If they've got no minerals, okay, if they're not prepared to go out there and battle it, and some of the games, trust me, when I played for IL, they weren't pretty. We had to battle, right, to get a result. Great footballing side, and most of the games, yeah, we outplayed teams and we beat them 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 29-0, okay? But there were times where you went out there and it was 0-0, right to the death, and you had to get a 1-0 win. That's hard work. If you don't put that effort in and you don't put that hard work in, you don't get to where you get, i.e. top of the tree. That's, for me, that's all levels of football. Like the Arsenal winning side back in when Adams was, the skipper. Great side, but you know what? Bottom line is they work for that. Every week, week in, week out, they grind results out. You can't go out there and be a pretty side and expect to win it like that. You can't. It don't happen. Any level. So,
Well, I'll tell you what, it's interesting you mentioned Tony Adams, because I seem to remember a story that it was when Patrick Vieira and a few of the French players joined Arsenal, and they were just talking in French in the dressing room, and Adams just pulled them all to one side and gave them something. Now, this question is kind of like it's a little bit pertinent, because I wanted to ask, when you do have new players that come in, or even players that perhaps aren't pulling their weight, who were the people in and around the team, like your Tony Adams, that were to pull these lads to one side and say, well, if you want to be here, if you want to win trophies, then, buck up your ideas?
Okay. Do you know what? I'm laughing because an incident like that happened. I'm not going to name the guy's name, right? I don't want to embarrass him, because he was a good player, and he did pull his weight, and he stayed with us. But he joined our club. He was a centre mid player playing next to me, and it was one of these games that I was just talking about where it was tough. We may have been losing 1-0, and I'm centre mid skipper. I'm trying to run my game, run the team, not run the team's game, but have a look what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And this fella, to me, I'm looking round and he's nowhere to be seen. He's just lazy. He's just not doing what he should be doing. Back to basics. Okay, let's win our zone. Let's win this. Let's get tight. Let's get on top of the game. I'm doing his running as well. So I'm shouting at him. I'm saying, come on, come back here. All this sort of stuff, trying to get him in position. I'm telling him he's not working hard enough, blah, blah. Half time, manager's having a bit of a paddy. Anyway, when he's finished, we're just about to go out. He says to Andy, can I have a word, please? Like in the changing room, we're all sitting there. And he said, can you have a word with Shakallis, please? Because he's done nothing but get on my back. So the manager turned around to him and he said, Shakallis is the captain. If you don't like what he's got to say, right, he said, get undressed and leave. Yeah. He went back out there and he stayed with us. I don't know how long for, but he did. He became part of the IL team, you know. But we was all like that. You can't have 9 players ticking or 10 players ticking and one out the cog, not, okay? And in tight games, hard games, you can't. So hopefully I've answered that question.
No, perfect. Absolutely perfect. And my next question and my final one before I give it back to Mike, in terms of the title victories that you won, which one would you say is your favorite? A lot of people would say it's the first because it was obviously, you know, the first one out of many, but was there one that stands out most for you?
Title victories or cup victories?
Let's go with the title victories because I know you mentioned the cup victory, and I'm sure that's very, very high up. But let's talk about the championships.
Do you know what? They was all special to me because they were so hard fought, right? With the league at that moment in time, the league was you must have heard it a billion times, but it was so strong. And trust me, you've got all the stats there, but we didn't run away with the league. I don't think we ran away with it at any one time, did we, Mike? Not sure.
No, I don't think you did. No, I mean, you're right. There was strong leagues, strong teams. You mentioned it. I thought you were going to say 1990 because that was your treble year.
More than likely, I did forget the treble. Actually, that year we won 5 trophies because we did the treble. We won the midweek league, right, which was predominantly a Greek side in the Premier, Tufnell Park. I know that's not Goba, but then we won the cup as well, Monsanto, the Gazette Cup. So I think that year we won 5 trophies. So, okay, yeah, that's fair play. Most probably that. But still, the point was they were all special to me because, you know, we all worked so hard for them. You know, we just didn't go out there and because we're IL or he's Greg Zachariah or Shakallis or whoever played for us, right? We're not we're just going to win this because, like, our name. No. You have to go out there and work for it week in, week out, year in, year out. If you haven't got that mindset, then you just don't reach them goals, right? And they're all special, but like that year, most probably, you've just jogged my memory there. I did forget all about that. Yeah, I'll put that one at the top of the shop.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Because one of the black and white pictures, actually, Mike, that I sent you, that's the Islington midweek team.
Right. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, we'll get those pictures up in a bit. Okay, so Nick, we've gone through the great, one of the great K.O.P.A League teams, and also the London teams, Sunday League teams. How did you end up at Cosmos in South London?
Gotta laugh. Do you want the honest truth?
I think our listeners would love the honest truth, Nick.
I might upset a few people though. There's no bad language or foul language, but I might upset a few people. Is that allowed or not? Yeah,
we can have some swear words. That's fine. Yeah,
no rules. If you want to edit any of this out, you can do. But all right, okay. 10 years at IL, okay. 10 and I'll be honest with you, I wanted to take over IL, okay. I thought to myself, I'm getting not close to my season finish because I ended up playing till I was 50, but I wanted to take over IL, okay. I never made it known to Andy, but I did. So a year before I left, or was it 2 years before I left? I'm not sure. Andy came up to me and he said to me, Shax, he went, I'm thinking about bringing John Sitton to the team, right? And I said to him, I don't know the fella, but I do know things about him, but I've never met the man. So I said, I'll tell you what I know from my heart. I said, he's a good coach, but he'll ruin this side. I said to him, he'll destroy it. Okay? That's all I said. So I said, for me, not a good thing to do. He came to the club. Not many people might get shocked with this, right? Because I was shocked when this incident happened. He came to the club and I don't think he liked me too much. Not because I was a bad person or because I didn't speak to him or I showed him ignorance and stuff like that. I think what got up his nose was that he came to the club and he was an ex-professional and he'd been at Chelsea and Orient and Mill and God knows, okay? Big man, right? Yeah, big ego. And the fact that he saw over the first period, the first year, that the boys had more, let's just say, respect or whatever, I don't know, than what he expected, okay? And he didn't like that. And a couple of things happened in the changing room during that year concerning me with him, okay? He treated me like, I don't know, not like a nobody, but like just a child that didn't know anything. And I turned around to him and I said to him, John, who do you think you are? Don't speak to me like that, you know? I said, I know you've come from wherever you've come from, but this is an amateur club, you know? You can't treat me. I'm not going to have you talking to me like this. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are. Anyway, I'm guessing the discontent and whatever it was set in. So we won the league, I think, that year, or whatever it was we won. We did whatever. The following year, one particular thing nailed it for me. It was halfway through the season and we had a London Cup game and we was playing at Kingfisher at the time up by the Crooked Billet. And, you know, we had a good side and it was a 10:30 kickoff. And as you know, I live like in Kent, like the hour and a half drive, like for me. So I'm like getting up to be at the ground for 9:30. It's an hour and a half drive. So I'm having to get up at 7, leave at 7:30, get to the ground for 9:30 or whatever it was. For him that day to substitute me. I wasn't in the team. Never ever in my life, right, have I been a sub, okay? Not Saturdays, not Sundays. And I just sat there, I couldn't believe it. I thought, okay, I was just running it round in my head. I'm thinking, have I been playing badly? You know, no. You know, even I always worked hard, even when I weren't at the top of my game. And it still wasn't a reason for him to leave me out. But he left me out to teach me a lesson, right? And all the boys were coming up to me and saying, why aren't you playing? Why aren't you playing? I said, I don't know. I asked John, you know. We went out there losing 1-0 at half time. I forget the English team he was playing. He puts me on at half time. Fortunately, I get a goal, 1-1. And fortunately, we won it 2-1. Okay? So after the game, I didn't rant and rave or anything like that. I just went up to the manager and I said, I know why what's happened's happened, okay? I know it's not you. But I said, in future, if you've got any inkling of leaving me out, if I'm playing badly, fine, let me know. But if I'm not, and John does this to me again, I said, I'm done. I said, I'm not going to travel up here 2.5, give up my whole day, Sunday. It was a whole day with a travelling the game and then travelling back home. Like my wife was a football widow. Do you know what I mean? So I said, I'm not going to do it. So let me know if you're going to sub me. I went, I'm not coming unless I'm playing badly. Fine. Anyway, that year I left. But one other incident happened in the changing room. Oh, it was when he first came. This was the shocker. right? It's amazing. We're playing at K.O.P.A Lane, and we'd won the league, we'd been champions, we'd come out, and we was playing these teams. We'd come in at half-time 4-0. I know we beat this team 6-0, I think. John's followed us in. He's gone, right, he said, team talk, team meeting, he said, don't all leave. So I was in the changing room, just us lot, and I couldn't believe what he came out with, and I don't think the players could. That was when he first came. Oh, that's what did it. And he said, right, he said, there was deadly silence. He said, right, he brought 3 players, right, Mike and Stel? I won't name them. There were 3 players he brought with him. So we had a squad of about 17 players. And he said, right, all the players that want to go and stand by Shakallis, go and stand by him. He said, and all the players want to be with me. He said, come stand with me. And there was deadly silence. I've never heard anything like that in my life, right? Deadly silence. Everyone's looking at each other. I was like sitting there thinking, what's going on? But it seemed like an eternity, but it was probably about 10, 15, 20 seconds went by. And the first person that jumped up, he went, Tony Martin on the Shacks. Boom, he came over. Mario Cipriano. Boom. Mark Dooley, Chris Dooley. All the IL players came and stood with me, right? And his 3 players went and stood with him that he brought. And I just could not believe, I've never ever, I just couldn't believe it from a man coming from a highly professional, disciplined place has come to us and he's done that. And from that day on, it was all downhill for me.
I've got so many questions about this. I've got so many questions.
Hold him still.
My brain's turned into a lava lamp, Mike, honestly.
Hold him. So you ended up at Cosmos, but you ended up at Cosmos with Nicky Milo, right?
Right, so what happened was, I never, ever wanted to leave IL because Nick Milo asked me quite a few times. He said, come down, he said, do your coaching badge. He said, right, I'll help you. You know, you do your badge. He said, come down. I'll help you through your coaching. He goes, you know, and then we'll push on. And I'm thinking, Jesus, you know, I could be like at a semi-pro club here with him, like doing stuff. So I left IL after 10 years with Cosmos, who were then relegated as well. So I went to Cosmos with Milo. We won the league, came up to the Premier or the First Division. As soon as we got promoted, he left. I became player, coach, manager, all in one hit. I was like, cheers, Nick. You know
and you also had a second team as well at Cosmos, correct?
They did,
yeah. There was a B team, yeah.
There was a couple of decent players in that, but nothing to shout about. They played in the K.O.P.A Common League.
That's right. Right.
So that's how I ended up in Cosmos. I did 6 years there.
Mm.
It was a good learning curve. It was difficult. I had a very poor to mediocre side when I went. And, you know, we ended up every year, I think the first year we just missed relegation, right? And then every year we moved up a spot. There was 1 year, right, Mike, we was actually top for the first 4 games. I'll never forget it. We was top of the league. And then I think that year we ended up about 4th or 5th, you know. But, you know, the players I had there were gifted technically, but they worked hard for me. They respected me, and they saw that I put the groundwork in, and you know, they gave me what they could. And we got to 2 finals, you know, 2 cup finals, and we lost them both. Right, the first one, unfortunately, we lost it 1-0. It was in America, and then I came back, and then we lost the second one. We was cheated out of that one, by the way, but we lost it. You know,
was that the KLN one? Was that the '99 Challenge Cup, the KLN?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, but we got to 2. I mean, that was a big feat for Cosmos, you know, to get to 2 cup finals and do quite well in the league, you know, sort of thing from what we had and where we were, you know. But there was another club, you know, they were like full of heart and full of family as well, like, you know. And we had a lovely ground. We had a private. We played at It was one of the Banks grounds at Stratton. Forget what bank it was. It was a private ground. The pitch was beautiful. The facilities were beautiful. It must have cost them arm and leg. The committee, these committees, honestly, they were just as passionate as players, I'm telling you. Otherwise, the Greek League wouldn't have got anywhere near the stature that it got in its heyday. It was all to do. It was a massive, sort of thing for everyone, the players, the supporters, the committees. It was just phenomenal.
Nick, do you remember the training ground? Do you remember the training ground at Cosmos? That horrible AstroTurf at Tabo.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it was around the Elephant, wasn't it?
Yeah, just off Borough Station. Yeah, because when you went there and Nicky Milo was there, when I was down from university, I used to train because my cousin used to play for Cosmos, and I got a couple of pals who I still know. My brother played for the second team. When we get the photo up, we'll talk about them as well. But that pitch was rock hard, wasn't it? Especially in the winter. You're
talking about the one. There was two. There was one at the Elephant, right? And then there was the Deptford one.
No, the one at the Elephant. The one at the Elephant, which was
that was horrible. Yeah.
It was especially in the winter. It was rock hard.
It was
dangerous. Yeah.
Dangerous. But we stayed there, but they moved us on to Deptford, which was a nicer place. But yeah, I had some nice memories there as well. I'll tell you what I noticed. What I did with Cosmos, there was a very disjointed team, right? The club was like that, tight, but the players weren't. And I saw it that they were all, after training, they'd all go. After football, they'd all go. There'd be no continuity there. There'd be no, buddism, like I had at IL and Olympiacos, like where we were brothers and family. So I said to the players after me seeing this, I said, look, I know you all want to get home. I live the furthest. I live miles away. I'm getting home at 12 o'clock, right? So what I want us to do after training, at least, is I don't want you all to go home straight away. There's a pub across the road. I want us all to go over there, and I want us to have a beer, if not two. And I want us all to get to know each other, right? Because that is a massive platform for success as well, right? And, that we started doing that. And the players got to know each other a little bit, and from that you gain the buddism, and the camaraderie, and you want to play for your teammate because you're no longer just a face, you're a person, and and you've got something there, So that was nice that they started to do it, and the team progressed from there. Unfortunately, you can only progress to the level of players that you've got. Are you with me?
Correct. Yeah.
That plays a part as well. So so I got sort of lumbered with Nick, and I just couldn't believe it. Play coach, manager. I thought, oh my God, I'm doing everything here. You know what I mean?
I can see Stel's itching to ask some questions. I'm going to pass you back over to Stel. Go on, Stel.
Nick, I have been involved in football for about 14 years. And the stories that you've been telling us, they resonate with me because I've heard these things happening, especially with John Sitton at every level, whether it be Premier League, whether it be in Cyprus. It's worse in the Premier League than it is in Cyprus, to be honest. But this whole situation with John Sitton, did you know him before he came to IL?
I didn't know him. I didn't know anything of him until late. I don't know how long he'd been in the league, whether he was there from the start or, but I only got with Jester John when Andy, said to me, I'm thinking about asking John to join us. And I sort of heard a few things, in passing, but I didn't say, I wasn't bothered with John Sitton, why should I be bothered with John Sitton? But when Andy told me that, what I knew from the man, like what I'd heard, I said to Andy, he's going to break the team. The year I left, they lasted 1 year after that, and the players, as far as I was concerned, the feedback I got from them was I'm not playing with that guy, for him, and they all disbanded the team.
Were you a little bit suspicious though, because you've got a guy that's come in? Obviously, as you mentioned, he's got a big personality, big ego. You're obviously the captain of the club. He's surely done some research. Now, do you think he had this mentality where it was like, I'm going to stamp my authority, and the best way I can do it is by targeting the main guy at the team, which is? Do you think that's what it was?
Do you know what? That is what I like to think it's something else, but it's got to be that for me. What else can it be? On the pitch, okay, people say I'm this, I'm that, I'm rough, I don't know, whatever. I'm passionate, right? And when I'm on the pitch, people are my friends, but it's a game of football. I'm out there to win it. And if there's a 50-50, I'm taking it. And if I hurt you in the process, I'm sorry. I've been hurt in football a lot. I don't moan about it. People, I've had mega injuries through football and in the Greek League. But we get on with it and we deal with it. But you're right in what you're saying. What else would I think after what's happened to me with John? I've never met John. I've never said a bad word to John or about John, right? Never. I never even knew the guy. The first time I welcomed him to the club, the first time I got the, whoa, what's all that about, was that incident I told you about in the changing room at K.O.P.A Lane. We came in 6-0 winners, and he said, I want a team meeting. What in God's name is going through the man's head? What? I wouldn't do that in a million years. I'm nowhere near his levels. Surely he's an intelligent man, and to do that, and you're right. You'd think he's done his research, and he's done his research, and exactly what you've said, I think is exactly what he's done. But it backfired on him.
Did you guys finish on bad terms then, or are you guys all right? Yeah.
No, I never had a big row. I didn't argue. I took my punishment whenever it was dealt, whether it was on the pitch, right, or off the pitch, or off the manager, or whatever levels I've played. I took punishment verbally and physically, and I took it off him. Mm-hmm. And I never spoke behind his back. I never mouthed him, nothing. I said one thing to him when he started to shout in front of me, in front of all the players. I says, just don't talk to me like that. Do not. There's just absolute no excuse for it. You know what I'm saying? You talk to me rationally. You don't treat me like I don't know. But he was John was a decent coach. I'll give him that. But as far as management's concerned, the fella hasn't got a clue. That's my personal opinion. And if I've hurt his feelings or anyone else's feelings by saying that, then that's my opinion. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. And you've only got to look at John coming to a club like IL, which were at that moment in time were unbreakable, and he managed to break them in 2 years. Expanded.
Well, this leads me on to my next question, because I had a feeling you might say something like that. This was your club, effectively. You were the guy. Obviously there were other players there, but you were the main guy. Every time we've talked about IL to other people, your name is always the first one that's been brought up. So, did it leave like a bitter taste in your mouth leaving the club? No,
terrible. I did not want to leave.
Right.
I left because I think I was pushed into that corner, and it left me no other choice, really.
Right.
I could have gone there, and I'm thinking out aloud, it most probably would have got worse and worse. Like the animosity between me and John may have exploded. I'm not sure, and I didn't want to get into that. And I wanted Andy to back me up. Right? I wanted Andy, the manager, to say, John, I'm sorry, mate, your services are no longer required. But obviously, Andy thought more of John than he did of me. Andy didn't have the insight to see, prior to John coming to IL, where IL were at the top of the tree, and why? Okay, why? Because, yeah, the players, players. John destroyed that. It's a shame Andy couldn't see that. At that moment in time, I was praying that Andy would say to John, I'm sorry, John, your service is no longer required. And I was hoping Andy was going to come over to me and say, Shakallis or Shaks, what is called Shaks, you got the reins now. It didn't happen. So I felt like I was stabbed in the back a little bit. I was expecting a little bit. Me and Andy have been together 20 years nearly. Come on, me and Andy Fallu, the manager. I was at Olympiacos with him for 9 years and then 10 years at IL. Andy surely can see the success he's got is not through John Sitton. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you mentioned earlier that, again, I'm sorry to put you on the spot and relive old news, but did you mention earlier, again, I could be mistaken, but did you mention earlier that you told Andy that you wanted to take over before he brought Sitton in?
No, this is the thing I should have done, but I didn't.
Right.
I should have made my...
you should, right, okay.
I should have made my feelings heard. I should have told him.
Right.
But do you know what? I thought to myself that he would naturally come to me. Seeing as I was his captain and I've been with him it was like a dad to me. I thought he would have come to me. I mean, he was best man at my wedding as well. Right? And I just thought that he would have come to me and at least spoke to me about it. Not saying I'm going to get John Sitton in.
Yeah. Can I play devil's advocate a little bit? Yeah. If he was sitting here next to you right now, he'd probably say, I'm not a mind reader. Do you know what I mean?
He most probably would, but I would have. Andy's cagey. He was a cagey manager. He was a cagey man. He knew what was what, and he knew where to go and how to get players and not to get players. And why should not he think that? I mean, sometimes I used to do the training, and listen, he knew that apart from me being the skipper, he knew that we all spoke. We sorted our own game plan out. We actually didn't need, if you're going to be harsh and down to the bones about it, we most probably could have run ourselves, with the financial backing, obviously. But the team ran itself,
Yeah. Well, I've got one more question on the matter, okay, and I'm gonna put this to bed. So, let's say you did get the job as head coach. How far could you have taken this club? What could you have done? What do you think?
Do you know what? That is $1 billion question because it never happened. I would have liked, put it this way, I went to Cosmos and I think I improved them quite to a standard that they had never got to, right? And that is Cosmos that were. So I'm thinking in my head, do you know what? The amount of time, when I was at Cosmos, the amount of times I had this said to me, I could have made up 10 teams. I used to ring players up and talk to them and say, do you want to come down to join me, Cosmos? The first thing they said was, I would join you, but I'm not coming down to South London. These are all North London lads, all right? The amount of times that players have said that to me, I'd come, no worries, no problem. But I'm not going to travel in the mornings or lunchtime over to South London. So I know that if I took IL, obviously being up in North London, I most probably, I'm not saying I could have had any player I wanted, but I certainly would have kept that IL momentum going, minimum. That's what I'd like to think.
Fair. I mean, I've been very careful with my line of questioning, not only because I don't want to put you on the spot, but I've heard some stories about what you've done to people on the pitch, and I value my teeth, so I don't want to see you on the street.
If you want to talk about that,
I've got all my teeth, Nick.
listen, I've got all mine still, but I've had my nose broken 2 or 3 times. Trust me.
Mine's all right. It's
And
big,
you know
but
what?
it's all right.
It's the Greek teams that have done it, but no one says anything about that. You know, it's like, oh, we hurt Shakallis, but you know, it's all right to put him in hospital and break his nose. But you know, listen, if you want to cover that, I'm open to it. It's, you know, a lot of these fellas that hated me back in the day, I see now, and we're like that, right? We're buddies, we talk, we laugh.
I thought you were going to say they crossed the road.
Sorry?
I thought you were going to say they cross the road and they see you.
Jesus, I'm just thinking, listen, on the pitch, it's war. Off the pitch, I'll put my arm around you and give you a cuddle. It's not a problem. I've got time for everyone. It's not a big ish, you know. But if you want to touch on it, I'll touch on it. It's up to you. I ain't got a problem, or we just leave it.
That, mate, honestly, we've heard some stories, but nothing.
What's
nothing
the stories that you've heard? See if I can shine a different light.
Who was it that came on the show, Mike, and he nicked that one on him?
Was it Demi Ponu?
Might have been, you know. Yeah.
Tony Ponu.
Tony Ponu, not Demi. Yeah, Tony. Yeah.
Right, okay. Ammonia player, I remember a little fella, little man, midfield player, great little player. Yeah. Okay, he was. He was a good player. A lot of time for him, a lot of respect. I've got a lot of respect for a lot of the Greek boys, trust me, right? You know, literally all of them. But Tony Ponu was a good player, okay? And I remember when he first played against me, I know what the managers say, because they say to us in semi-pro football, like, all day long, go out there, win your ground, right? Win it, play the game. If the 9 out of 10 times a player will fade. If you don't, you've got a battle, okay? Fine. So I remember little Tony. Okay, I'm glad you brought him up. I remember the game. Monia, I think we was over at King's wherever it is, the Cricket Billet ground. We was playing them, okay?
Crooked Billet.
And the manager, I know it was Cattle or not, the manager of Ammonia at the time, is told Tony to get into me, right? Now I'm not a dirty player, no matter what people think. I've never broke anyone's leg, and I'm not like that. But I like to go in there and win it if it's there to be won. So little Tony's getting into me, because I know the manager said to him, get in the Shakallis, upset his game, do this, give him a little kick, give him a little nudge. And I got kicks on the ankles all day long. You've never heard anyone say that I've been kicking people, because I never did it. So little Tony, he's given me a little bit of and this and that. And I said to Tony, calm yourself. He's a young kid. I said, I know what's happened. I know your manager's told you to come out here and do a job on me. I said, just calm yourself down. No, carried on. Done it again. I think he's elbowed me in the rib. I said, Tony, you do anything like that again, I said, you're going to... He did. So I gave him a whack, you know what I mean? But do you know what? Fair play to him. He came back and he gave me a whack as well. So, and if you are, did he tell you that or not?
I think Tony's the kind of player, and I know Tony because I see him often when we watch him on YouTube. Yeah.
He did say it was a battle. He did say it was a battle.
He would give it as well. Yeah, he would take it and give it. He would take it and give it.
And that's what he did with me. And I took that and I respected that. And I didn't get hold of him and punch his head in. I thought, fair play to you, kid. Do you know what I mean? We've had a tussle and he ain't bottled it. He's come back and he's had it with me. Great, not a problem. But there's some other players, right, that,
I was going to ask, who's got the baton now? Who's the one that's got the baton? Because you had the baton. Everyone says, like, Shakallis is the one with the baton. He's the guy. Who was the guy that, was the Vinnie Jones of Goba?
Well, I was the Vinnie Jones of Goba.
Well, that's the perception. That's the perception that people have given.
Do you know what? I'll tell you something. You ask the IL players, if I had them all now here, and you asked them if I was an aggressive, dirty, malicious player, right, they'd all turn around and say, I'll swear down on my kids' lives, he's not. He's a fair, hard player. He will hurt someone after he's warned them. But they don't tell you that bit. I won't just go out there and just maliciously hurt someone, right? They do it to me first, and that's the bottom line.
But
You know,
Nick, wasn't that
Nick,
was
do
an
you
era?
know
But
what?
that was an era, wasn't it? That was an era when you had not only technically good footballers, but passionate footballers. You had hard footballers as well.
You
And
did.
in a battle, you've got to keep your end, right? And that's what it was. And you were not only a hard player, you're also a top footballer as well. And as you said, managers want, let's get Nick off his game. Let's get Nick off his game. It rarely happened, right? But sometimes when it got physical, it got physical. And those are the conversations that we've had.
Mike,
Well, no,
honestly,
Mike. To be fair, Nick. To be fair, like okay, but I'm not backtracking here, but 1 second. But what Mike is right. People would say that you were an aggressive player, but you could ball out as well. This is the thing. But I think because a lot of the stories that we've heard in terms of the physical side of things, your name would be up there. I don't think it's because you're a dirty player. I just think that people felt that, you know, you could back it up as well, and they knew where they stood with you, if that makes sense.
yeah, listen, we all stood, the IL side, all of us protected each other, right, in a way. Okay. Now, I don't know if some of the players that you've had previously have ever said, they always bring up the physical side of my game. But Mike, you brought up a good point, was that I was a decent player as well. Does anyone ever mention that?
Yeah,
Absolutely, they do.
Yeah.
Whenever we
For
talk
sure.
about who were the best players in Goba and who were the players that, you know, made the league stand out, you're one of the first names, Nick. They say it.
Sure.
So you are definitely one of the first names. We know that. We know that anyway.
It's nice. It's nice to have that, you know, to be told it and that. But do you know what? It's not just one player that makes, you know, not just the team, but we're talking about Goba, the whole thing. There were players out there that, you know, that were just different types of players, but they were brilliant in their own right. You know what I'm saying? There were, you know, lots of teams had them. You know, all these top teams in the 80s and early 90s. Look, the Goba League, the Cypriot League, won, as I said to you, won the London Inter-League Cup. Okay,
you played in the mixed Goba League, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
And I played in all them the 3 years that we won that, okay, was the first time any team, any Inter-League London side had won it more than once, like in a row. We won it 3 years on the trot. We had such a brilliant side. Honestly, it goes without saying. When you win, like the Interleague side is like the amateur you know, like international side for that league. It's the best players, yeah, from that league. And you think how many leagues are in London and they're all playing against each other. And Goba, the Cypriot League, won that trophy 3 years on the trot. And
do you remember the game at New River against the Turkish League in '86? That's a really famous game where lots of fans were there from both sides.
You drew 2-2, didn't you?
No, I know you won 1-0, I think.
That was 1-1, yeah.
Yeah, that 1-0, the
It
semi-final.
was one of the games I didn't play. I was injured. I had a cartilage and I had operation. I didn't play. That was the one at Finchley, I think. We lost it on penalties.
Penalties, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? The first time we played the Turks, oh my God, it was at Market Road. The police were there. It was the first time the Turks had played the Cypriots, right? And it wasn't long after the troubles in Cyprus. And the whole of Market Road was full. That's my wife. Me and Terry, my wife.
Hello.
Hello. Is it still going?
Yeah, he's still going. So
Okay,
the thing was, the whole of Market Road. That's never happened before, is it?
We'll edit that out. Don't worry.
I leave it in. But anyway, it's good to see my wife. She's English. No, seriously. So the whole of Market Road was full of supporters. I tell you what, someone said there was like 4,000 people there, right? I'm not sure. Well, you've heard this. It was chock-a-block, and the police were there, and that was the first time we played at the Turkish League. And I think we played them 3 or 4 times. Drew once, beat them in the final, and beat them in that game, and I think we lost one of the games
On penalties.
Yeah, someone told me it was like 29 penalties or something.
Oh, I'll have to look in. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like, well, not 29 maybe. We went into like double figures.
Mm.
But yeah, anyway, so.
Stel, do you want to show some photos?
Yes, I shall indeed. Let me get them up here. Let's get them up here. All right. Voila. Numero uno. Let's bring this on. Let me expand it. There's quite a few in that one.
Yep. Okay. What do you want to start? Top left?
Top left, AL champions.
That's the one. I think we beat Salamina in the cup there. That was a cup game. And that was at New River. There's Chris Giorgio, bottom right. Monumental of a man. It's actually most probably the cog of IL, the main cog. And then, I mean, I can't see all the players, but you've got Andy. The road at the bottom was Alan Montague, Pete Lucraft, Greg. What's his name? I think some of the players. It's a bit blurry. Glenn Russell, Black Boy, Greg Zachariah. There was the ammonia keeper, I forget his name there. Mario Cipriano, Pete Lucraft, Peter Christophe, whatever his name was, and Mark Christodoulou. That was that one. The one on the right is Chris Carley's in that. Can you see him?
At the back, next to the keeper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. 1, 2, the top back, you got me, Barry Henley,
Chris.
Chris. You got the keeper, John. You got Andy McGonigal, Barry, Tony Martin at the bottom, Greg Zachariah, and who else? There's another one there. Gersel. They all came from Olympiacos, I think. They followed us through. But yeah, that's an IL side there. Yeah, that was a good one. Bottom left, I'll put that in there with George Canaris and Mario Cipriano. I'll put that in there because just to see how fashions change with the shorts. It's mad, isn't it? We used to wear the shorts so high up, honestly. I think that one was the league. We won the league then, I think. I can't see the league tables, but I think it's Athletic United in there.
Yeah, they were second.
Yeah, second.
And then was third, yeah.
I think that one is me. It's a five-a-side trophy, I think, that one. No, we won five-a-side cups as well.
Mm.
And that one's a London Cup, I think, when we won it.
Oh, the LFA, yeah.
The LFA, yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Great memories.
They were, young men. Oh, that's the LFA as well.
Yeah.
Where
was that game played?
That was at Kingsbury's ground.
Right, Kingsbury, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Did anyone keep those kits or those shirts? Someone's got to have some of those shirts. Those are classics, man.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think they've been burned.
Oh, man.
Seriously. But most of them players, I still see. I know, like, 1, 2. There's George Gennari, still see him. Mark Christodoulou, still see him. Sean Abbott, still see him. This is the back row. Mario, I see. Tom Luizzo, I see. Nick, that's John Sitton, that is. I didn't want to say nothing about that. The bottom right, I still see Gersel. We still meet up. I don't see that fella, Mike. Me, Andy, I see still. people know, and Kip, I see him occasionally. So, and Andy Falahui on the right. So I still see most of those people. See, you know, it hasn't sort of just fallen away into wilderness. You know, we're still sort of a tight knit, and we met up just a little while ago. So yeah, it's good memories. It's brilliant memories. It really does sort of touch me. You know, better memories than Saturday football, actually. To be honest with you, Mike and Stel, much
Brilliant.
better. You know. What else you got there?
All right, let's have a look.
That's just
Okay.
Sorry. Move on. Yeah, I know them guys. I think that's the same one.
It's the same one,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the London Cup as well. Oh, that's me up front, I think. You see, with my arm up.
Yeah.
Typical. I'm trying to upset the keeper because the keeper's come out with me. So I'm trying to knock the ball out of his arm ends. It's Tom Louisa there. Can you see him in the white shirt?
Is that Tom or is that Mario? No,
That's
Tom,
Mario
isn't it?
next to him.
That's right. Yeah.
Tom's in the white shirt with the Amelia shirt.
That's right. Yeah.
Very younger looking Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look.
Oh, that's the league side when we went to Cyprus, playing a five-team competition. There was Ammonia, Abuel, there's a Russian team, us, and there was another Greek team, I can't remember. I think it was a Larnaca team. Was it IL? I don't know, I'm not sure now. But yeah, that was...
because Ike weren't around then.
No.
Who was it?
Larnaca would have been maybe in Bezoborigos.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But that was a good. Well, we thought, yeah, we weren't a bad side there. That was a good side. But I'm guessing you know some of the names there. You got Jimmy Cattle left top back, Nick Milo. You've got Tony Wall, who I played Saturdays with. You've got Tony Georgiou, Sava. I forget his name, Pete, I think, goalkeeper, who played for Balk. Panny, great centre half, sweeper. Me, Mario, forward. I forget this guy's name. Andy Falahui. I forget this guy's name. He was with Ammonia though. Not sure if that's Paul. I don't forget that guy's name. Sergi, Panny, right back for Ammonia. Oh, that's Paul, sorry. He passed actually, bless him. Mike, goalkeeper, Greg Zach, and I forget this guy's name, and Fox, Paul Fox, I think, or Paul C's. That's it. Good side. We got spanked on that tournament. I'll never forget it, by a Russian team. We got done 5-0, I think. They really were a proper fit outfit. Got their runners into the ground. We thought we were fit. We start playing the Greek teams. They're running up and down like Billy-O, aren't they? Yeah, so that was that team.
What shot still?
Well, I was going to ask about that trip to Cyprus, Nick, because you mentioned you playing the likes of, Omonia, etc., etc. Were there any specific players that you remember that stood out? Because that's kind of like the golden era of Cypriot football as well.
Yeah, what do you mean for the Cypriot teams or?
Yeah, for the Cypriot teams. Yeah.
Do you know what? I didn't, because it doesn't bother me. When I go out and play, some players get it in their head. Oh, this is so and so. This is so and so, and you create an aura within your own head, and it can put you off as a player and upset your game before you've even started. I refuse to have that mindset. For me, bunch of players, you go out there, you deal with them, okay? And if they're better than you and they beat you, it's fine. I don't go out there and worry about Trevor Brooking, Georgie Best or whatever. I will not let names affect me. But the answer to your question, I can't remember any names from any of the Cypriot teams that we played.
Which year was that?
Sorry?
Which year was that? Sorry.
Was
Well,
that
that one,
86?
it was
86?
in
No.
mid-80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, mid-80s.
Six.
At that time, Goba was most probably at its strongest, and Goba did started to do
82.
stuff. All right,
82 that photo. Sorry, 82.
okay, so
On that
but
deal.
well, that brings me back to the 80 to 85 era, where the Greek Goba side, Cypriot London side, won the All London Interleague Cup, and it was a great team and a great side, very strong. And Goba took us to Cyprus with that, with that mindset, because we were that good. But we won some, we lost some. But I can't remember any players from Cyprus. No, not really.
If it was 82, then you probably would have played against Gaiafa, the Monia striker, utter legend.
Was he a small guy?
Not that I.
No,
Well, I
that's
mean, I
quite
never watched him.
stocky, big hair.
Yeah. Well, that most of them, to be honest.
Well, actually, that describes most of them. Still, any other photos before we go?
Yeah. Ella. Bame.
Oh, that's the Cosmos team.
It is.
Yeah.
Who are you crouching next to? Do you remember that young man?
Yeah, Kip.
That's Kip. Yeah, Kip. Kip asked me. I told him today that I was going to interview you, and he goes, "Ask him if he remembers me."
Of course I
So
do.
what can you tell me about Kip?
It was a whinger. He was a scaredy cat. I'll tell you what.
It was quick though, wasn't he? He was quick.
Right. I was just about to say, Kip had bags of talent, and he was very quick, and that got him out of a lot of probably bad challenges and getting hurt. But he didn't like putting it in. Didn't like getting stuck in. He was one of them players. The rest of them did. Alex wasn't on the opposite end, right? He was another.
Alex Yangu, isn't it? Yeah.
He used to skip out of everything.
And you got Otis there as well, wasn't it? Otis was a good player, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a strong up-front player, and you got next to him. He was a good player. George Laz, centre forward, he'd run through a brick wall for me. Good lad, honest. The other guy was Ola Dada. He was a good lad.
Who's the chairman, one with the glasses on the left? He had the travel agents, didn't he, in Green Lanes? Dino, that's it. Dino Travel, that's it. Yeah.
Dino, yeah. I forget the guy's name on the left, but on the opposite side, you got Andy Broy-Stoss, who was like
Andy Broy-Stoss, yeah.
He was a manager of the second team.
Correct, yeah. And do you remember? And that's Tabard, isn't it? That's the Tabard pitch.
That's no,
Tabard.
No, that's Battersea.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm 100%.
Because I've got a photo next. Go on, Stel. Do you want to show the photo from the other side? Because I took that a couple of years ago from the other side.
Right. Okay,
it's still there. Yeah, and it's still there.
Oh, okay.
They've obviously changed it because my parents still live around the corner. So every time I go down, they're just little reminisce. But it's a far better surface now than it was back in the early 90s and late 80s.
Yeah, it don't even look like a surface, does it? That picture. It's
no,
shocking.
I've got a question about that kit. How can half of the squad or half of the team have a sponsor and the other don't? Is that my imagination?
I think this faded from the wash.
Faded. It's faded from the washes.
They were using Siva, that's why.
You want me to name all them players?
Go on, then go for it. I'm sure they'd love a shout out. Go on. Do you want to start at the top? Next to Dino at the top.
Right, next to Dino, you got Ememada, you got Otis, George Laz, Ola Dada, sorry, he's next to him, Basil or Barry, John, forget his surname, he's passed away, bless him. Alex Simides, he's from North London. Sadidi.
Yeah.
Kyriakos, I think his name's Kyriakos, he's passed, bless him. Andy Broy-Stoss.
Was that Giggsy at the back?
Yeah, Giggs, yeah.
Yeah, he passed away a few years ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Heart attack, bless him.
Yeah.
I think I was at Cosmos still when he passed. Charlie, Alex, Zeno.
Little Zeno, yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Oh, do you know what? No, I can't remember his name.
You don't?
No.
That's my twin brother.
Really?
Yeah, he's passed away 3.5 years ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
That's all right, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my twin brother. He played half a season for me.
What was his name?
Mick. His name was Mick.
Mick. Okay.
Yeah.
Kip will remember him. Kip.
Of course he will. All those lads will.
Yeah.
But Kip will remember Mick.
Yeah.
Bit of a loose cannon.
No, I do remember him. He used to play for the second team more often, didn't he?
He did play for the second. I think he did play for the second team a little bit. And then you got Kip and me.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, good days.
Brilliant.
Nice. Is we got any more? We got any more? No, we haven't got any more. We're done.
No.
We're done. Memory lane.
Brilliant. Nick, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been fantastic.
It was nice, like passing comments with each other. It was nice talking. And I appreciate you asking me to do this. Much appreciated.
Oh, thank you for doing this.
No, thank you for doing it. I mean, as I said before, you're one of the, you're one of the recurring names when we ask people about the legends and the people they remember. So we had to get you on. So thanks to Chris Carley for getting us in contact with you. Nick, if I was to ask you to give us a name or give us someone who would make a good guest, who would you think we should get on?
What, players?
Anyone, not John, no.
Not John. I'm never going to put John's name up front. Do you know what? They'll all give you different stories and stuff like that. I'm just trying to think of players that. Have you had Andy Gotchinos on? No. Do you know who he is, Andy Gotch? He played for
Anothoses.
Yeah. Andy Gotch was he wasn't a stranger, he was a very good, very hard player. I'll tell you, he broke my rib. No one knows. I've just said that out online. He broke my rib. Went up for a ball and he banged me. Oh man. Yeah, very painful. But he's a good player as well, but very competitive. It would be one if you can get him, but whether you can or not, I don't know. I've not heard or seen. I don't even know where he is. I mean, some of the names I don't even know. Like Penny of Ammonia, the centre half.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
I don't know if.
I don't know him personally, but I know the names, and I'm sure we can dig around and find players. But if you know anyone, get them to come in contact with us, and we'll get them on. And we do want to have a live event at some point and get all you guys together. That would be amazing.
God, might there be battles? You better bring some face guards. I'm only joking.
We'll bring some of the old Goba referees as well. My
God! Do you know what, the Goba referees? I've got to say, I've got to get it off my chest. I'm sure they went out every single time we played, and all they wanted to do was send me off. So I was sent off. Do you know what? I never got sent off for tackling or challenges or anything like that. I always got sent off for dissent.
Wow.
For arguing with the refs. Why? I want to ask some of these refs, why did you do that? I'm just asking questions. Next thing, Shakallis, you're off. Do you know what I mean? No, never mind.
People talk, Nick. People talk.
I know they do.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And I'll watch out for that guy. You know all about him.
But anyway, everyone's got their own opinions, their own views and thoughts, and they're all so much different, I guess. You know, you can only believe what they say.
There we go.
And I've got two books, look, that I've kept from back in the day. I took pictures of them.
Yes. Yeah.
We used to do these really thick magazines.
That's right.
But yeah.
And there used to be a monthly one as well, wasn't it? There used to be a monthly one as well. But,
yeah, thinner one.
Yeah.
But these are thick hardbacks. They're good books. Really
they're great stuff.
Good stuff in them. Anyway, Stel and Mike, I'll keep you no more. You got homes to go to.
Yeah, definitely.
We're at home. Nick, I've actually got one quick question. And this is one that we ask all of our guests. In terms of the league itself, obviously we know it no longer exists, but what did it mean to you and how did it shape your life? Not just your football life, but your life in general.
Okay. It shaped my life big time, football, and out of football. I think we spoke about some of the things earlier on in the in the interview. One was, I said, apart from the family side of it, not just with the players, the whole setup, teams, it was a team, family was a team, but then teams, everyone knew each other and stuff like that. Some people liked each other, some didn't. But the bottom line was, it was like that. And as I said to you, I actually gave up Saturday football when I had a bad injury, and I gave it up and chose to play for Goba in the Greek League, okay? Because that's how much more it meant to me, because they treated you like family. The dues, the parties, the get-togethers. As I said, Chris Giorgio, for instance, he'd invite the whole team and all the families of those players to his house, and he'd do a barbecue, and we'd have a great day out at his place. You know, he could do that, obviously, being who he was and what he was. And it was the holidays, and you got to know people, you became friends, families, you got to know the families' kids, their families. You know, it was the whole thing. It just snowballed into like a closeness, you know, and it went on like that for years, like especially with IL, like, you know, and even after that, I still keep in touch with a lot of the Goba players and a lot of the Goba people that, you know, I played with. You know, we're still friends and we still sort of communicate and meet up and stuff like that. That's the impact it's had on my life. It's actually become part of my life, in my life, and not just like an ordinary, I'm playing for St Mary's Youth Club or playing for, that I've played for semi-pro clubs, like, and I played for this, and they mean stuff, but they don't. You know, deep down, it's just a football club. What did they give me? They just gave me football and a few quid, like, at the end of it. End of. Goba, the teams, the players, the committees, they gave me memories, brilliant memories, family orientated. That's what Goba gave me. And I've still got that, because I still see a lot of them fellas, and football's been gone in our lives for years. So yeah, that's the impact it's had on my life.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That's the perfect way to end the pod. Really appreciate your time, Nick. Really appreciate it. It's been great talking to you. And you know, as Mike said, if we get this this live event sorted, you're one of the first names on the list, my friend.
Are you sure you want to invite me?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Come on.
It'd be a pleasure. And I'm sure we'll all have a big hug. And I'll apologise to a billion people.
They'll apologise to you as well.
Exactly.
No
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you, Nick.
Well,
anytime you want to get in contact, not a problem, okay?
Brilliant. Thanks,
Thank
Nick.
you.
Thanks for your time.
Well, that's it, boys and girls. We're done. Be safe. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.